The constructive painting, actually, it's this installation, intervention in your space. It's about subject. It's about how you research a subject, how you try to figure out how to express the subject, and so on. So the subject, the idea, is very important. And I started more or less in pandemia, in 2020, when the whole world was freezing. And I had to reinvent myself. And because being at home with no other possibilities, then I said, okay, I will paint, because I study painting, coming back in a way to my youth, to my studency, to my some of works which I lost, or they were destroyed by accident and so on. For instance, I was in love with one of my paintings, which was black, but a still life, not really black, and I wanted to remake this. So when I start to look for the subject, and colors, I was doing research, and now we have a lot of books on colors, explaining the history, I don't know, all kinds of things. Even on internet, you have a lot of information. By the way, I find out on internet that actually the colors are invention of our brain. So I start to rethink what means for me the colors. Since some years already in my workshops with kids or young people, I'm using the colors to provoke their creativity, the mood. So I'm really working with colors and what they symbolize, or what they express. And then, another way to find subjects are looking around, but also on internet, on books. And the internet actually became an interesting space for me, because it's an overwhelming quantity of information. I decide to work with what I find. I select, I modify, I put in another context, so will be a kind of appropriation, if you want, will be a kind of post-production, a term maybe proposed by Nicolas Bourriaud. I find a lot of interesting statements, a lot of images which are sometimes too tough, too problematic, but in a way right. And so I don't want to impress, I only want to propose. The whole thing, it's a kind of collage. So the constructive painting, it's a collage in space. I think this is me. I like sometimes to focus. I like to feel. And in general, I like bird view. So that's why many directions. But there are some moods which you can express only in abstract way. Or the figurative, actually I try also to find my way. It was a long break since I didn't paint anymore. I created 2 institutions, the Archive of Contemporary Art and Center for Art Analysis, and recently a Knowledge Museum in which I recuperate a lot of other projects. So I try to be in the service of the public. But in a way, the life had another project for me. So I was forced somehow, losing the space in the center of Bucharest, to reinvent myself, to revisit myself, to work with new possibilities. So in a way, I didn't make my mind how to paint. I'm looking for. It's a research in progress. Maybe I stop, I don't know. For a while, it's okay. Starting to paint in 2020, looking for colors and so on. And recently, the war was coming, the Putin's war in Ukraine. So I start to look at images, select some of them. I had a proposal to make an exhibition and so on in Ivan Gallery. So I thought I will include this. I was looking at First World War, Second World War, reading about, and then I remember the Rwanda genocide and Syria. So these images, especially with kids, this is one of my subjects, continue to come on internet, on Facebook. So I included this, but a large demonstration will be on Ukrainian war, being so close to us, knowing that what was happening in Romania in 1947, with Russians, almost the same, let's say, with how they invaded Ukraine. Without Romania being in Europe, we will be like in Ukraine now, under Russians. So all this make me more sensible to this subject. And then I was totally impressed by the courage of the Ukrainians. And kids, I don't look at images with kids only in war time or something but also on my context. And in a way, I discovered that, I don't know, more or less are generation after generation traumatized by the context, by the parents. And I think, again, it's a subject which I cannot accept. I started using shadows in 1990. I don't know how I end up with shadow. I have a sister, and I was forced to all the time to take care of her, so maybe it was a kind of shadow. Or, we are impressed by our shadow or our persona or anima. This relation with inside and outside and so on. And then I did performances and so on. I started to use my body already in communist time without knowing what is performance. For me were experiments in which I was trying to check something. And then I, again, recently I remade the shadows. Because I like to say that I'm tired, so I use a shadow, a black shadow, to say this. The colorful shadows are slices of identity, because each day we are different. We can reinvent ourselves each day, so this is powerful, let's say, a chance for us. Anyway, identity is an instable thing, we are constantly changing ourselves. Influenced, we influence, altered by all kind of things. Even the world, what we see, we want to make something, but we end up doing something else, deturn all the time in this. A little bit I will say that I'm TIJ. It's coming from DJ. I'm editing, sampling, text, images, from all kind of sources. Non-fiction books, I like to read only this more. I don't have patience anymore for fiction. This was for the communist time. Now I need facts, truth, something like that.